What's up, folks? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully, you guys are having a good day today. As you guys can clearly tell, I'm a little bit under the weather, so my whole household has been sick the last week or so, and I am the last one to get sick. So a little bit under the weather, a little bit under the meds and all that stuff. So I'm gonna do my best here. But in this video, we're gonna be talking about the brand new deck of fate that just released, the Brave deck of fate. So in this event, we're going to be able to pick up the Knave of Hearts as a guarantee champion here. So you can kind of see the 100 fragments for the Knave of Hearts. I didn't notice quickly that this common rare epic card breakdown, there's actually less epic cards in this entire deck, which means there's less likelihood of you pulling 3 epics in a row. Which means less likelihood of picking up some of these high-end rewards. Yes, these rewards are basically as good as it can get. I mean, minus the ham. If you put a big stone here, that's as good as it can get, pretty much. But keep in mind, there's only 8 epic cards, which means very, very unlikely for a triple to occur. Now, we do have a legendary book here. We do have a primal shard. We do have a void shard. Pretty good rewards overall. I mean, it would have been nice to see maybe some relic materials. But I think they don't need to put more incentive into the rewards to get people to pull, so I can see why they didn't include any relic materials. 5 and 6 star speed glyph here as well. So how are we getting points for this deck of fate? So yeah, as confirmed in the player and play calendar, it is going to be Dungeon Diver, following by Soul Stones. Yeah, if you take this and then we compare it to against some of our older examples that we have. Sorry, gonna blind you guys with my spreadsheet here, but so we got some older examples here from the old deck of fates. Let's have a look here. So level up champion, soul stone. So we got 5,000 points for the big soul stone, 100, 1,000, 5,000. This is from July. This is for stone skin gear, so it wasn't super crazy hard one. So maybe they made it a little bit more enticing. It's obviously lower rates right now. The most interesting one, or the closest comparable one, would be this one from Cold Brew, the Bells deck of fate that just happened in December. So it was dungeon diving, and it did have eternal soul stones as well. Yeah, so 3,000 for the eternal soul stones and 28 for the mythical 6 star from dungeon diving. It's lower than what we get currently, so you can kind of see here it's 30 as the upper threshold for mythical 6 stars and 4,000 for eternal soul stones. The reason why I think that the Bells one was a little bit worse off in terms of points was because there was a much more generous kind of option here to get points, which was like a chase version of the usual summon component. So it was a little bit more generous in terms of how to get the points. So it kind of makes sense for the other Soulstone and Dungeon Diving to be worse. But here you can kind of see how this kind of ranks up against stuff from the past. Let's see, we have Fatalis here. So Fatalis was from February 2024, and this was a dungeon diving component. So this dungeon diving component is actually worse than Fatalis was, and soulstones are harder to get than shards. So I would say the Knave of Hearts is harder to complete than Fatalis was. I remember I finished this Fatalis one, and it was really, really tough. I mean, it's basically just energy at the end of the day. But yeah, I mean, you can work out how much energy you're going to need to finish this if you did not want to use soul stones. Generally, as a rough estimate, I like to basically use the in-between point of the 5 star epic and the 6 star rare for points. You can kind of see here, 5 star epic is 14 points, and then we can see the 6 star rare is 18 points. So we use the halfway point, it's 16 points. So on average, you're getting about 16 points. This is for hard 10. So this is kind of like the rough number that I would use for hard 10. So you're getting about 16 points per 20 energy. You're getting about 0.8 energy per, sorry, 0.8 points per energy. Sorry, my bad. Which means if you are going to do this strictly with energy, you will be spending 50,000 energy. Divided by this is how many pots, and this is how much gems. 15,000 gems. So you'll be spending about 15,000 gems if you're spending on energy alone just for this champion. If you have some soul stones, that'll be great, of course. For example, if you used one big soulstone at 4,000 points, that's going to save you about 5,000 energy, which is of course significant. It's about 1,300 gems or so for the Eternal Soulstone. So if you have any kind of soulstones to help supplement it, you're going to bring down your overall gem costs significantly. But if you're going to do it strictly on dungeon diving, you're looking to spend about 15,000 gems. That's a lot. Personally, after like going over his kit again, I wanted to I didn't get a chance to hop into the test server to test him out. There's just too much to do, and the test server time is limited, so the test server is actually closed right now, so there's no way for me to do something really quick. But after reading his kit again, he actually looks like pretty good champion. His A2 is actually very decent. It's a steal 2 random buffs, which is way better than just like removing 2 random buffs. And of course, like taunt and unkillable can be very strong as well. We have this really cool ability here on his A3. And of course, he's going to be very strong against somebody like Amius, for example. The heal reduction cannot be removed, so Amius will have a harder time to deal with this. It makes killing him a little bit easier since he can't heal up, of course. His A1's a little bit lackluster, but yeah, his A2 and A3 seem pretty good. Now, is this guy like, I mean, if you're going to compare him to like Fatalis from last year, Fatalis is an exclusive void legendary champion, right, for the Monster Hunter campaign. Now the Knave of Hearts is not exclusive, like it's part of the themed event right now, but he's going to be in the pool, so there's no super FOMO or anything like that. Is he better than Fatalis? I mean, Fatalis is pretty good, and I would say Knave of Hearts can be pretty good as well. So I would say in terms of quality, both of them are roughly the same, even though they do different things. But it seems to me like the Knave of Hearts is actually more expensive to acquire. So I would say it's big stretch for anybody going for this guy. And keep in mind, Fatalis is also a void legendary, whereas the Knave of Hearts is not, so there's a little bit lower value there. There's actually one really good reason to get the Knave of Hearts, and it's to get these free rewards. If you guys are in the position to get the Knave of Hearts, and if you guys have all the other characters, Alice, Queen of Hearts, and the Mad Hatter, and the cat, and the Knave of Hearts was the last champion that you needed to get this special gift, I would strongly consider getting the Knave of Hearts just to get some of these gifts, because you get the Cat's Gaze, which is basically like it could be a fusion on its own almost. I would say in terms of how much resources they expect us to put into this, obviously a very insane relic, and then you get a bunch of these high quality relic materials here. Yes, the materials you can get from Chimera and stuff, and it's just going to take you some time, but they do take some time, and they are some of the higher tier rewards. Of course, you get a cool frame out of it. I mean, it's not a big deal or anything, but you can kind of look at this as like, I'm going to get the Knave of Hearts and a Cat's Gaze. You know what I mean? So I think it's hard to argue against getting the Knave of Hearts, even though the deck is so bad, or not that great. Actually, it's pretty bad. Let's call it what it is. It's pretty bad, right? But if you're gonna throw in a Cat's Gaze, I think it's hard to argue that is not good value, right? Because you're getting a Cat's Gaze, a champion, just to do basically energy, throw energy in there. The soul stones, like you can argue not to use soul stones because there's boosted events for soul stones now. All soul stones, like they gave boosted events for big ones, and then of course the small and medium ones are already active sometimes. So saving them for those events makes sense, but at the end of the day, getting the Cat's Gaze with a Knave is very good. So if you're in the position to basically complete your set and pick up this free reward, I think that would be the only reason why you would try to complete this deck of Fate. Keep in mind that if you don't have the allotted resources for all 40 cards, it's a risk, right? Because I think mathematically, I forgot what the math is, but the math behind it is that the largest majority of people will take at least 36 cards, so 36, 37, 38, 39, or 40 cards to get all the pieces, 100 pieces, right? So unless you can you know, unless you can flip at least 36 cards, then you are at significant risk of not completing the 100 fragments for the champion. So I would strongly consider, obviously, not participating in this at all if you don't have the proper resources to fully complete him. Unless you just care about Mauled or something, but I think that's kind of a loose argument trying to farm this for Mauled. But I think since it's dungeon diving, it might just be, you might just be collecting these deck points just by doing dungeon diving. Like we do have the Queen's dungeon open, so a lot of people be farming just regular gear and picking up some of the points along the way. So even if you're not going for the Knave of Hearts, you still can pick up some extra goodies along the way, and there's a chance of getting like Primal Shard and a Void Shard and stuff. So it's not all bad, but yeah, it's definitely really expensive to get the Knave of Hearts. Definitely would suggest not doing it unless you're like a completionist or you have tons of energy. Otherwise, it's just kind of bait. But if you can go for this free gift, complete your set, then it's kind of worth it. So anyways, that's going to be my 2 cents on the event. Personally speaking, I'm not going to be too bothered by it. I kind of want to go for it. Like I can get him. Like I have enough resources, right? Like I definitely have enough resources. It really comes down to how much I value like this champion. I don't value him enough to basically like go for him and then be like, yeah, I'm gonna use him right now. It's like that's not gonna be his play. Like for me, it's like I'm gonna pick him up and he's gonna be in the vault and then he's gonna be cool. You know, gotta catch them all, I guess. But I would be spending resources that I would definitely not spend otherwise for this champion. So I think I would probably pass on him. But yeah, let me know in the comments below what you guys are thinking. I'm not close to completing the set or anything, so there's no additional cat's gaze for me or anything like that. But yeah, let me know what you guys are thinking. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Are there a lot of people in the position to collect off all the champions after the Knave of Hearts? I don't know. It seems there are some people in the position that need the Knave of Hearts to complete the special gift. I mean, then this event might be for you. So anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.